Welcome everybody. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to demonstrate what a real Toastmaster Club does. That each one of you can learn to stand up and speak with confidence and share the story within, accomplish whatever it is that your personal goals are, but that every single person in Toastmasters can learn how to speak with confidence. Tonight we're going to have a prepared speaker. Then it's going to be 5 to 7 minutes, which is what most of our speeches are during our meetings. Sometimes we do longer, but for regular meetings it's 5 to 7. We will have an evaluator that will do a 2 to 3 minute evaluation, and it's mostly to point out the things that a speaker does very well as make some recommendations for improvement. And then we're going to do a little thing called table topics, where we'll do some impromptu speaking. And tonight's speech will be 5 to 7. Jennifer, come up and give us your speech. So for tonight, we're not going to do a speech. We're going to cut that part out because all of you know how to do a speech. Then when Jennifer finishes, we're going to clap loudly and applaud. And then the evaluator, if you're doing the meeting by yourself, you can go right into that. Hi, I'm Todd. And if you're the evaluator, you come up and you go over the sheet and you say, I like that Jennifer's speech had an open and a body conclusion. Right, Will? What else did you like about her presentation?
She was very energetic.
Okay. Any feedback?
Oh, just loved her pauses, how she paced everything.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice presence standing there, commanding the room.
Okay.
Personable, friendly. Yeah.
All right.
I love the eye contact.
Okay.
I liked her hand gestures and how she brought in the crowd.
I love the story.
All right.
Told us about her dog was amazing.
Okay. And then I would go over the evaluation form and point out the rest of the components that she did well. And then I would make that one recommendation that we all try to do as a Toastmaster. And just say, next time maybe try a speech that allows you to use more vocal variety. Because there'll be times where you want to use vocal variety to make your point. Or something along those lines. It's not, you're going to be real kind because there's new people here and we don't want them to think that we're just pounding on people. Mm-hmm. So even if they're a very advanced speaker, just be real good on the evaluation, but do give one recommendation for improvement. And then I go into something like this. Now about those white cards, and people will generally laugh or go, oh no. And I do try to meet every single person as they come in the door, hand them the card, shake their hand, start that dialogue to get feedback and start getting connection with people as they come in. Help take some of that pressure out of the room. But we're all about creating that buzz and that excitement. So let's see if we know who this person might be. Snowboarding in Whistler down Black Diamond. I believe Black Diamond is the most severe course.
Double Black Diamond is the worst.
Double, okay. I'm a water wakeboarder and surfer, so. We have any idea who that might be?
Will?
Will! Will, come up here and tell us about your experience. And we have a timer back here. Please speak to the green card and finish at the red.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, it was a real thrill coming down Black Diamond because I've never done that before. I just started learning how to snowboard because I was normally a skier. I like skiing, but I never really picked up a snowboard before. So I figured I'd try that out. My buddies took me up Black Diamond and I figured out to try it out. It was a thrill. I hurt myself real bad because I didn't know how to snowboard. See, I was naturally a skier, right? But that was fun though. Back to you.
Thank you, Will. Well, someday I might try that, but right now I'm too cold to get up there on the mountains. But great job, Will. I really appreciated that. Anybody swam with the manta rays in the moonlight in Kona? Who might that be?
Is that Jan? No.
Virginia?
Steven!
This me?
Come up and tell us about that.
Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, my son asked me what would I like to do for my birthday when we went to Hawaii. And I just said, oh, maybe go swim with the manta rays, because I heard about it. And that was a few months before we went. And he's a researcher, so lo and behold, we're going to go swim with the manta rays. And I was scared. Never been with live animals like that. But the night it was dark, we had boarded on a skiff that, of course, I call them water cowboys. These tour guides that to just rip open the motor, and you're going like that. And we were soaked before we even got there. But when we got there, it was pitch dark, just pitch dark. And so how are we going to see them? And they throw out a paddleboard. The waves are going like this, and where are the manta rays? Where are the manta rays? What they did, bing, the lights came on. Jump overboard, jump overboard. So we did. Hang on to the board, look down, don't move your feet, because you're going to kick the manta rays. I looked down, oh my God, manta rays, mouths that big, coming up. It was awesome. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks so much for that. I have to tell you, ever since Jaws,
No.
but that was awesome. Hitchhiked around New Zealand.
Well, we know it's not Will. We know it's not.
Sean. Never been there.
Yeah.
Okay. Virginia?
Dan!
Yeah.
Dan.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters. The nice thing about hitchhiking around New Zealand is that people pick you up. New Zealand, this was in the 1980s, and it was like 30 years ago in Canada. There's just a different quality. And I hitchhiked from up to the north, and I hitchhiked down to the south, and met people, got taken to their farms. And the one memory I have, having been dropped off at this beach, and I walked down the beach, and I came out over the hill, and there's this farm, and I walk up to the guy, and how you doing? And there's this milk truck parked on the slope at the farm, and he's pumping out the milk tanks, and there's whipped cream oozing out the top, right? Because this truck is going down the dirt roads, and so I said, "Can I have some of that?" Sure. So I stick my hand in, because there was a big vent on the top of this truck, and I reached my hand in. I gained 15 pounds on that trip.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much. I've heard New Zealand is beautiful. Never been there, but heard it's gorgeous. Living in Manila for a summer.
David?
You got it.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters.
Brought up in a Western North American environment, never having gone to a third world country. It was 1973. I was between second and third year law school, decided that I wanted international experience. And I joined Canadian Crossroads International, and they assign you to a certain country and a certain place. My assignment was Tondo, the slums of Manila. And I was placed with the Zone 1 Tondo organization for the summer. These are people, 60,000 strong, 60 to 100,000, that live on the breakwater and surrounding harbor. And the organization used the Saul Alinsky method of community organization. where they mobilized the people who lived in the slum area to have them, provide them with social services and organize them for, as a powerful unit, to have their voice heard. The first day that I walked into that slum, I was just overwhelmed with every sight and sound you can think of. There was an abandoned railroad that I walked down. There was sewage that was seeping there, and with that, the attendant smell that arises. There were little kids with abscesses just running around playing. One child with a bulbous nose, as some sort of elephantitis of the nose. All of these kind of sensations and sensual perceptions hit me. But the people, they knew where I was coming from, and they put me, they basically put me in a cocoon. They understood that this was very novel for me. And the first night, I slept in a clinic. It seems kind of strange, you know, clinic, but that was going to be my room. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I heard these screams, and something that I had not heard before. And it was a woman crying and really at the top of her, in a great agony. And it was not till the morning that I heard that she was actually giving birth. And these experiences sort of lapped and overlapped each other to the point that I became part of their family, the people who were organizing and who lived there. And they, you know, we had a lot of good parties. And I remember one party, we used to drink San Miguel gin every night. And I got into it too. I was about 25, 26. I got into it too, and one night the fellow brings out a revolver. You know, I mean, you can do anything in the slum area. He says, Dave, you want to try it? I said, yeah, sure. And no, they were smart enough not to let me take the role, but you know, he let off a few rounds, and that's the first time I ever heard a gun, and so it was these kinds of experiences. And I could go on and on. Mr. Tosa.
Thank you so much. We are blessed in America and Canada, and that's for sure.
Aren't we?
Amazing.
Gliding along the Fraser River.
I'm going to change that up a little bit because you think gliding along the Fraser River. What does she mean by that? Well, do I look like the kind of person who would jump out of an airplane? I did, and it felt like I was gliding above the Fraser River. Pretty remarkable. On a beautiful summer evening with the sun low in the sky. It is so incredibly quiet up there. I had to go myself. I was supposed to go with a bunch of people, but I missed. I had to work late, so I ended up having to go by myself. And I went up with this little plane. Had a little bit of training. They put you in a funny suit, and they tell you to count to 6. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Pull the cord. Right, away you go. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that. We get up there and it's just so amazing. You're just floating around in the valley and it's so incredibly beautiful. They go around once and drop a streamer so they can see where the wind is flowing. And then they say, okay, your turn. Get out in the window. You go, ooh. And they stand you out in the window and you get ready, and then he slaps your thigh and you fling yourself back. And you, of course, you forget to count. But in the first jump, you're hooked with a long cord, right? So I actually did remember at some point I went, okay, and away we go. But for those who forget, it happens automatically. And then it was just like gliding, silent and beautiful. You have your little handles that you can turn a little bit and go around in circles for a little bit as you look down. You just forget where you are. And it was the most remarkable trip I've ever had. and it was like just so memorable, the dream and the beauty of it all, until I hit the ground and broke my ankle.
Seriously, you broke your
Yeah.
sprain.
No, I broke it.
Oh.
I didn't have my boot done up, and but anyway, it was worth it.
What's that military saying about jumping out of a perfectly good flying aircraft?
Yeah.
Look at that. All of your friends got up here and spoke. Wasn't that fantastic? I know that every single one of you could do that. But we only have so much time today. If we had a meeting next week, how many of you would be here? And that's the response that we get. Because they've seen their friends, we're allowing them to participate, and we're creating the buzz that you have in all of your great home clubs where people walk in and they want to be part of that. And that's exactly what we do here. Now the one question that we'll get is there'll be some bean counter in the audience and they'll say, how much does it cost? Cup of Starbucks. $45 every 6 months. And they're like, okay. So if what my district director year, we did 14 of these demo meetings. We chartered 12 of them fairly quickly. Sometimes, most of the time, the same day. If you get 25 plus people in the room and you have that type of environment, you will charter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just go right into, okay, let's think of a name for this group. Everybody gets 2 votes. Let's throw out some names. I generally have a scribe put them on the flip chart. And then once you get a list of names, everybody gets 2 votes. Top 2 choices go for the next vote, and there's the name of the club. And then we go right into naming officers. And we do that the first day. Now, if you have an internal champion, we'll send out the membership form beforehand, and they'll bring them filled out to the meeting. And you might have a few stragglers that didn't get them, but you fill it out right there, and you're done. And it really does work. So questions or comments? We can do a Q&A on this. I just wanted to do a shortened version. You've all seen the speech, so we don't need to do that. It's generally about a Toastmaster journey that every single person that's given 4 or 5 speeches can say, hey, this really helped me. I can do this now. This is why. Yeah.
Do you need enough people there to be able to sign up everyone for a club? Like, do you need over 20, or can you do it with a smaller group?
You can do with, the best is to have 25 plus.
Yeah.
You'll do it right then. Now there may be some instances where a couple people have committed to join, but for whatever reason they couldn't attend that day. Sometimes they'll send their forms with somebody. Other times you can do it through PDF, through email. But great question. But the more you get in the room, the more excitement and buzz there is. Because not 100% of the people are going to join. So the more you have, you're going to get 20.
What's the best way to ask for their money? And because I'm in the middle of helping a club establish. Yep. We've had great turnout the first time. There was probably about 25 people there.
Okay.
The second one, there was probably about 15. Now the third time, there's about 10. Only 4 people have signed up so far.
Okay.
But there's interest there. So how do you get, right now, currently, we've just left the forms on the table. Oh, please sign up if you want to sign up. There's not that, okay, sign up. How do you?
That first time when you have that buzz, because our job is to provide an atmosphere and opportunity for people to participate in, just like when you all walked in your home club. That's the environment that we're trying to create. And you give them the form, and you say, if we're going to have an official club, we have to have dues. So be confident about it, and don't beat around the bush and just say this is what it takes to have a club. You've all raised your hand and said you want to be part of this.
Right.
Then those 4 that have signed their form, those are your champions now that needs to get the others to sign up.
Right.
So I've done a demo meeting before.
Uh-huh.
Money wasn't a problem.
Okay.
So I did one with Pat Johnson
Uh-huh.
last year with the Office of the Auditor General. We did exactly the same thing. Prepared a speech around.
Did it work?
later. It didn't, unfortunately.
It didn't?
Yeah. So we didn't. I think we didn't catch on the momentum. We didn't. The club wasn't ready. The money wasn't a problem because the company was going to pay for it. 19 people came.
Wow.
It was great energy. 8 people signed up.
Okay.
But the message from us is you need 20 people to create a team, to create a club.
You do.
And so they're thinking, okay, should we open this up as a community club for people to come in? Because they didn't have 20 people. And we followed up, they said they have 13, they have 14, they have 16, and some of those people left. And then it was kind of like...
Is it open to
went
the
away.
community or closed?
Well, they want to do a closed club. They want to do a corporate club,
Okay.
right? But they need 20 people.
Who's the internal champion?
Well, one of the manager was the internal champion, and
Okay.
he really wanted this to happen.
So then somehow I would talk to them and say, we had this many people sign up, we're short a few more members.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other employees that you could have
Well,
join?
the company has 250 people, right?
So get them to
So,
help you.
Yeah.
Because he obviously wants it, or he wouldn't have done it, and if they're paying for it.
And the guy was really busy. He's always traveling.
Sure.
It was really hard to get a hold of him, and different priorities came up for the company. And
Understood.
yeah,
But
but we didn't get into what is the name of the club, and then we didn't vote, and because
Okay.
they weren't at that time, they weren't ready. And now we're giving them some time, and then we follow up. No, not ready.
How many were at the demo meeting?
19 people.
19.
Yeah.
And how many were interested? 14 from that?
Sorry. How many
14 of
signed?
those 19 were interested, or?
And in the end, but that day at that meeting was 8 people signed up because I
So
passed
half.
around the sheet, right? So said, if you're interested, put your name down because we were preparing for the forms on the back end.
Yeah.
But we were so close, but it didn't work.
I would talk to that manager somehow and see if he can help you, because the internal champion can put pressure on that you can't, and they can persuade.
They know the culture.
Yeah.
Like the thing I'm picking up on is the confidence. It's like you're assuming, if we're running this, if you showed up, you're assuming that people are showing up because they want to be there. So it's like, okay, well, this is it. You raised your hand, so let's, like,
Yeah.
here's the form, let's go. Kind of is like there's an assumption of it's a go.
That's a good point.
And that kind of rubs off on people.
I do walk in with the attitude of if you have 25 people, you can check with my district, but I walk in with the attitude if you have 25 people there, we will charter. And I think you're right. I think that comes through that it's going to happen. So
And it's not like you're trying to convince them. Like people, the fact that they showed up, and everyone needs it.
yeah,
So-
exactly.
Yeah.
So you could use this for a club that's struggling, even if it was a different location.
You could, yeah. Like an open house type situation.
Because there's 5 members in our club, and we did a meeting at another location because one of the members works there, and we had 8 people show up. So we could do it again
Yeah.
and do it in this format.
So we talked about a similar circumstance today, Jan and I, and if somehow you advertise this and promo it and bribe them with food and blow it up in an open house, you'll probably get more people there, and then you could do something like that. Yeah, absolutely. When I was an area director, I had a couple clubs that were short on, it's either an educational problem or a membership problem. Unless you've got some Yahoo in there that's stirring up problems, but that's another issue. So we'll assume it's one of those two. And there was this club that hadn't been distinguished for like 8 years. And she says, Todd, we need to get a few more members. And there's 2 towers of office buildings there with probably 500, 1,000 people. Wells Fargo. And Joe Stump at the time, the CEO, was had been a Toastmaster, and he said he would never have been CEO of the bank if he wouldn't have joined Toastmasters. And there's a video out floating around on the internet. And I said, okay, Caroline, if you advertise this on your intranet and throughout these 2 buildings and did an open house and we brought in a professional speaker, do you think that would help you? She goes, yeah, you could do that? And I said, yeah. So we picked a date. On the way home, I called my mentor. He was a past ID. Tavis, I need your help. What is it? I need you to be a speaker at Stagecoach Speakers. What date? I told him, he says, I'll be there. And we did that twice that year, and we got 6 members, and they were select distinguished. So it's using tools like that to draw people in, but we all know that the bigger the audience, the more buzz, and that's what makes it work. But is there anybody that couldn't have done this type of meeting tonight? Every single one of you can. You really can do it by yourself if you have to.
Nice and simple, yeah.
That's good.
I think 2 or 3 people is ideal, probably, maybe 4, but
What about evaluations if you're going to do it alone? So you probably need a general evaluator as well, right?
no general evaluator. I normally pick somebody from the audience to be the timer, and I just give them the cards, tell them what the time are, and hold it up. One of the new invitees. No general evaluator, no odd counter, none of the other stuff. They don't care about all that at this point. This is just to show them a speech that they believe that they can do at some point soon. Get them to participate in the evaluation. So if I'm giving the speech myself, I'm going to have them evaluate me. Did I do the following? And get them to give me feedback. And then I'm going to go right in the table topic. At Tesla, we started a club at Tesla in Fremont, and there was, I think, 40 people in the room. We charted that day, no problem. We were talking about doing a couple more clubs. And I got up and I said, about those white cards, and they just goes, oh no, and I said, hey, your employee evaluations are coming up. And they all laughed. We had a good time.
Light and simple.
Jen.
What do you say about charter members?
Charter members, you can use, this is one of the things that Rick does, is charter members, as you know, are a charter member for the entire life of that club. And there is a special recognition. You can do certificates for that, but they're a charter member for the history of that entire club. And so you can use that as another bonus. Okay, the first group of people that signs up are charter members, and there's a spatial recognition for that. So good point. I think if you're having fun doing the demo meeting, because I've seen some people go in and they're a little bit stressed out about doing a demo meeting. If I could make a living doing demo meetings, I think I would be really happy. It's fun. I mean, it is one of the funnest things you can do. And when you help charter a club, you're going to help not just those 20 people, but every member that joins start their journey, and God only knows where they go. I mean, well, what if none of you ever went into a meeting? It's huge. So, yes.
Okay, a little bit of a nitty-gritty question now. When you have that kind of open house and you get people excited, what about the next steps when they realize that there's actually, structure and there's a lot more other things involved with the meeting? Do you ever allude to that?
We do, but that's where sponsors are vitally important, but every club has their own culture. And the key is to not have a sponsor dictate that it's going to be just like their home club, which we see area directors do that at times when they go in, they want to transform it to their club. It's to let that group of people blossom into their own culture. Some clubs are more structured than others. yes, we should have agendas, yes, we should have our roles filled, yes, we should have officers and training, but there's some flexibility in how they accomplish those goals. So I would let them blossom. At first, it's about getting them up before the group and start their journey of speaking, and then developing these processes. Because for a while, they're not going to be able to evaluate. They need to have a few speeches out of their way to evaluate. Because we don't want them getting up there and ripping one of their colleagues to smithereens. That's not helpful. We want to be really careful. But it's 20 brand new members, just like the members that all of you mentor. And you see those 20 members rising up. So I don't focus as much on that part. I let that develop as they go.
Right.
So on the getting back to the cards, I really like this idea. So how do you?
It's not mine, so.
No, but still, how do you? Like, say you've got a room, you want to get everybody up, and
You can't.
You've only got 55 minutes.
Great question.
How do you tell them? Okay, do you time them like just 60 seconds, or?
So if we start at 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
I go until 20 till. So at 20 till, that's where I finish the table topics, and then I go right into that. Okay, look at all of your colleagues that, and that's a line that I use quite often. So great question. I'm aware of 20 till, and then I go right into the raise my hand for the next week, because you're right, you're not going to get everybody up, and you've got to go through those. This is where it is helpful to have at least one more person, because you're going to get some things there that the comments are not. You all had great comments for this purpose tonight. You're not always going to get that. You're going to get some of this, and you're going to get, I waxed my car last Sunday. Well, that's not a 1 to 2 minute speech.
But should we keep? In a 55-minute meeting, should we keep? And you've got 20 minutes. You're saying 20 minutes for table topics, right?
No, I'm saying, so we start at 12,
Yeah.
and we do that little introduction, just a quick, the purpose of today's meeting.
Yeah.
Then we do the speech. Then we do the evaluation. And when that evaluation is finished, from there until 20 till, so whatever that time is, it might be 20 minutes, it might be 15, it might, somewhere in there. And I want the speech to be more on the 4 to 5 minutes, not 7:30. Because that's
Right,
one or
right,
two
right.
more table topics.
Yeah.
Because the more you can get up, the better.
But for the table topics, then should it be time to say
1 to 2 minutes.
1 to
Speak
2
to the green.
Yeah.
Finish by the red.
Yeah.
So here's the other interesting little tidbit. How many of you, when you do a table topic for a guest in your clubs, how many of them speak over 1 minute? Do every one of them?
Most of them do. Yeah.
It's a mix. It's either over or under. It's 45 seconds, or they just. It's usually short
So-
front on my experience.
Most of the times, I see that people, they do that. They'll either go 5 minutes because they're so anxious that they just, or they go 30 to 50 seconds. Because they're getting asked a question, just like in the club today. The one person didn't know how to switch it to something else and thought they had to answer that question, and they were out of words to say. And with this method, they're giving you what they want to talk about. And I've never had somebody with this method go less than 1 minute.
I can see that. Great idea.
Because I'm actually thinking sometime about doing a demo meeting with just table topics.
Yeah. I think so.
I think it would work.
Well, it's game. Why are people there? Right?
Yep.
And Toastmasters is not about watching. It's about doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's short and sweet.
I mean, so I met Rick in Orlando back at the conference, whatever year that was, about 6-7 years ago. And this light bulb just clicked, and I go, I'm going home and doing that. And I was club growth director at the time. And I told our team, I said, I would never have joined the demo meeting that we used to do. Because it was so stinking boring that I would never have been a member in a million years. They talked about the paperwork and the training and all this other nonsense that a new person has no understanding of. And the reason why they're coming that door is to be right here. And that's our job to help them get here. So this, I give him the credit for this. I really do. I on our calls, I say the Rick Furbush method, because it's his idea.
I wish we'd known this about a month ago, or this new club. We had, how many did we have in Jen? 30 people. I'll tell you, it would have been dynamite.
Yeah.
And now I think, we lost the steam, but we can bring it back.
Yeah,
But,
try it one more time, maybe.
yeah, I'd love to do this at UBIT.
Maybe a Christmas open house meeting
Yeah,
with food.
yeah. I mean, you can do it a couple of times, and people love this.
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I think everybody walks out of there having fun. The new
That's right.
people, the Toastmasters. It really is fun. And I believe every single one of you can do this.
Thank you.
It's great.
Okay,
Thanks, Doug.
so we can.
I have a question.
Yep.
Is that okay?
No. Okay, one question.
What is it?
Give me a sec. So if you have very shy guests and they're like procrastinating, they just don't want to get up there. So do you switch to the next one, or you still encourage them to
Great
go up?
question. I've never had that happen. I've heard a few of them grumble and things, but we still get them up. And again,
They wrote it.
they're telling you what they want to talk about. So I've never had somebody that flat refused. Ever. I've had a few people turn red faced, a few people perspire, but they all seem to be able to do their voice better than. And face it, sometimes we have some off the wall table topic questions in our existing clubs. And then we all can handle it, but a brand new person doesn't know how. And with this, it really is, they're telling you what they want to talk about. It's their topic. They know this. They don't need notes. They know the story.
Yeah.
So I've never had somebody not get up and do it.
So do you just ask them to speak at their seat, or they actually get up?
Nope, bring them up front.
Okay.
Full experience.
Yep. Stand and face your accusers.
Thanks.
If somebody